Love, love, until I feel the breath of the Spirit flowing in me.
Hello and welcome to Spirit of Life. I'm Mirella Rich. Today our guest is Father Eugene Ashkar, and he's a Catholic priest in Victoria, and we'll be discussing Our Lady Queen of Peace of Medjugorje's message, which was given on the 25th of April 2018 to everyone in the world. Welcome to the program, Father.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. It's always lovely to have you here, and it's always spiritually enriching for everyone too. What I thought we'll start with, I'll read Mary's message and then we'll talk about what you think.
Yeah.
Yep. So Our Lady said, on the 25th of April 2018, "Dear children, today I am calling you to live your new life with Jesus. May the Risen One give you strength to always be strong in the trials of life, and to be faithful and persevering in prayer, because Jesus saved you by his wounds, and by his resurrection gave you new life. Pray, little children, and do not lose hope. May joy and peace be in your hearts, and witness the joy that you are mine. I am with you and love you all with my motherly love. Thank you for having responded to my call." This is such a beautiful message, such a comforting message, isn't it?
It is, yeah. There's a lot in this.
Yeah.
So that was the thing, that when I read through it,
Yeah.
I thought, there's a lot in this. It's quite a condensed one, and it's also one of the ones that I was able to read both as a message to the world, but also a message within their own country, which was very important too.
Yeah. Okay, how's that within the country? And then we'll do line by line.
Just recently, the Melbourne Archdiocese puts out their I suppose they print it too, but they put out their electronic newsletter. Mm-hmm. And in that electronic newsletter, because I actually I printed off a bit of it, there's an interview with the Bishop Franjo Comarca, right, who is talking about, even though the guns have silenced for the last 20 years, there isn't actually peace. Okay. And that there are 3 ethnic groups that are in tumult there, and the Catholics are the oppressed one, because there are external forces that don't want this there. And so the Catholics are being fiercely oppressed. Most of the Catholics fled during the war because they were being driven out and killed. So 60% left and have not been able to come back, and those that stayed are losing jobs, and they're just not getting employed, and there's a lot of economic and social and political forces against them. So they are indeed deeply suffering, and having and they need that strength, they need that encouragement.
Yeah.
This is not the end. The world is not just here.
Yes, yes, absolutely. We have to always keep focused on that. We'll read it line by line and just discuss it. Our Lady said, "Today I am calling you to live your new life with Jesus." Your new life. I loved it when I read that message, because I thought it's time to start a new life. Like within myself, I was thinking, live my new life, like things that I've really wanted to do and I think I should be doing or whatever, just to try and be focused on that with Jesus.
Yeah. The whole idea of the faith really is every day is conversion.
Yes, yeah.
And every day we have to, so every day it's the new life, know. Because in the evening we have to do an examination of conscience, and we look at the bad things we've done and we say sorry to God. We look at the good things we've done. We thank the Lord for the grace that he's given us, and we ask him for the grace that we can do better tomorrow, so that in the next day we have this new life, because
Yeah.
we're making that, we're constantly renewing the struggle. It's like
That's
trying to swim
beautiful.
upstream, isn't
Yeah.
it? You can dog paddle
Yeah.
and the stream will carry you down.
Yeah.
You have to swim against the current.
It's like one day at a time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Living one day at a time, living one day at a time with Jesus.
Mm.
Really in Him,
Yeah.
and just take it. Because, it's beautiful. Our Lady said, "May the risen one give you strength to always be strong in the trials of life." I'll just stop that there. We'll read the rest of it after. But to always be strong in the trials of life. May the risen one give you strength to always be strong in the trials of life. That's a lovely thing if we just meditate on that, like thinking about Jesus helping us in the trials of life, because every day sometimes is a trial. There's always a trial.
Oh, yeah.
No days like happy all the way through and everything's perfect all the way through.
Yeah. Well, I suppose one of the things that came to mind with these things is that there are certain types of evangelization that tell you, the world is the devil's and the devil's doing this, the devil's, and all this. And my mother had an ultimate response to that.
Yes,
she said, "How dare you make the devil more powerful than God?"
Oh, beautiful, lovely.
Right?
Yeah.
This is the resurrected Jesus. This is the victorious. He's victorious over not only everything, but death as well.
Yeah.
And so, that's a victory.
That is. And that's so important to always have in your heart and the back of your mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
That it's been won already.
Yes, that's right.
The battle's been won.
The battle's been won. We just have to be humble enough to let him fight the battle for us.
Yeah, exactly. That's beautiful. And trust in him.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. When we try and do everything ourselves, and you think, no, it never works when you try and do it all yourself. But when you slow down and trust a little, blossoms appear.
Oh, yeah.
It's just such a
extraordinary. Yeah.
Such a lovely thing to do. Mm-hmm. And the rest of the sentence is, because Jesus saved you by his wounds and by his resurrection, gave you new life, which is a powerful one, which we probably won't have time to finish all through, but we'll have to go through a bit more of that when we go back. Did you want to say something quickly?
Yeah, look, every time I read something like that, my mind goes straight to the Holy Saturday, the ancient Holy Saturday homily from the Office of Readings.
Okay. Can we talk about that when we get back from the break?
Absolutely.
Stay tuned.
Love to.
Yeah. You've been watching Spirit of Life. Stay with us. We'll be back with more very, very shortly. Hello and welcome back to Spirit of Life. I'm Mirella Rich. If you've just joined us, we're here with Father Eugene Ashkar, and we're talking about Our Lady Queen of Peace's message from Medjugorje, which is a little village in Bosnia-Herzegovina. And the message was given on the 25th of April 2018. Welcome back to the program, Father.
Thank you.
So the message we were just reading before the break, we'll go over it again. Our Lady said, because Jesus saved you by his... the first part. Be strong in the trials of life, and to be faithful and persevering in prayer. So the part I want to sort of repeat was, and to be faithful and persevering in prayer. So we sort of break it up a bit, because prayer is such a powerful, beautiful gift we've got given to us.
It is, and I suppose you could say it's terribly misunderstood, because everybody thinks, it's this solemn, things there. But we have to remember that Jesus was human. He walked the earth with us. He took on our flesh. He's had to converse with all sorts of different people. And when you read the scriptures, you find sometimes, he feels the emotions that we feel. They say he's like us in all things but sin. Yeah. So if I can talk to you like this, then prayer to God can be exactly the same way. We can just talk to him. And as long as we are aware that we are talking to him, that's all it is. And it's a very beautiful, very comfortable thing. And because God is all around us, and he's not like the watchmaker, we're just standing off in the distance, he's here with us. Yeah. And particularly when we want to talk to him, he is close by. Yeah. And we can just talk to him. It is good to have formal prayer, to have memorized prayers, because There'll be times when we're sick or when we're confused and whatever it is like that, and we've got to have something to fall back on.
Yes.
And it's a marvelous thing to be able to do it, and it's very calming too. You know, when we pray, well, like if we say the rosary, and we have that mantra style things there, science has proven that prayer, the brain goes into the same pattern as sleep. So we go through an actual rest cycle while still awake. That can take so much stress away because we can tell Jesus, and it doesn't mean we have to. It doesn't mean we have to, you know, the grovel sort of thing. You know, we can say to him, you know, like Teresa of Avila, if this is the way you treat your friends, it's no wonder you have so few. Right? Yeah, to speak honestly with him. It's just extraordinary. One of the most powerful ones that I've
found, your best friend.
that gives peace. And Our Lady, of course, is always giving advice that will bring us peace. It doesn't necessarily mean absence of war. It means the true inner peace. And I teach people the 6-word prayer. I can't, you can, it's yours.
Yeah,
right?
That's beautiful.
And because we keep trying to do so many things ourselves, and, you know, the power is in God. Nothing's impossible to him. So you say, well, I can't, but you can. You're God.
Yeah.
So it's yours. It's your problem. And worry is getting stressed over something because we acknowledge we can't do it. But we still try. That's why we worry, because we're still trying to do what we know we can't do.
Yeah, yeah.
So when we actually have this surrender to the power of God, and Our Lady's key thing is that fiat voluntas tua, you know, that your will be done, and handing herself over, you know, my soul glorifies the Lord, you know, his handmaid. Everything that she points to is handing over, you know, doing what he wants, following his will, doing what God wants. And hey, she's the Queen of Peace.
Yeah. Oh, it's so beautiful. And it is, like I had a moment today when I prayed for something and it just completely transformed just a few moments later. And I just thought, wow, that was just me not trying to change everything and control the outcome, but just really let God take over, you know?
Yeah.
It's just really beautiful moment. I just thought, yeah, thank you, God, that I could see the thing changing, the situation changing. Yeah. Powerfully, better than I could have done.
I didn't see the situation change for another person. I was doing the same thing because, you know, I was running late to get here. Yeah. And I've got all these people pulling out from streets and things like that and just going straight across the traffic in front of us all. And I was so tempted at one stage to just yell out the window, use your indicators. You know, but I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. And I just thought, what's that going to do? I'm just going to get more upset that I've yelled at the person. He's going to be upset. He's going to be driving upset. I'm going to be driving upset. It's not. Yeah. Yeah. This isn't what we're about. So.
Yeah. It's funny, yeah. I know someone who did that. The person was driving and the other person actually gave him a rude finger when he was driving, and then they both pulled up at the same petrol station, and this person that I knew was a very loving person, and he thought he'd go up to the person and say, I'm sorry, did I do something to upset you? Because I saw, you know, because he did the finger. He said, I'm sorry if I offended you. Did I do something wrong? And the guy was so embarrassed. He's like, oh, that's okay. Because no one would say that. Like,
that's
he was
right.
sincere. Like, I'm really sorry. I did not mean to do whatever I did to upset you.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
He's probably ready for some sort of aggression.
Yeah, he's probably thinking he's going to yell at me.
Don't worry about it.
So
it's marvellous. Yeah.
A lovely outcome, a different approach.
It's very disarming, isn't it?
Yeah. And then Our Lady said, because Jesus saved you by his wounds and by his resurrection gave you new life. Gave us new life by his wounds and his resurrection. So we have to sort of, I guess, try and unite our pain to his. But do talk about it, Father.
The thing is, yes, we do unite, okay, but it's actually him reaching down to us. And that's what I was talking about with the ancient Holy Saturday reading. And he says, he thinks like he'll say, see the blows on my cheeks, which I accept in order to refashion your distorted form to my image. So he became distorted because of the distortion of Adam. See the scourging on my back, which I accepted in order to disperse the load of your sins. See my hands nailed to the tree for a good purpose, for you who stretched out your hands to the tree for an evil purpose. God is the originator of all of this.
Oh, so
right?
Beautiful.
So we're asked to unite ourselves back in Him, and that again, that's submission. That's submission to Him. I keep telling people in the offertory of the Mass, and this is where we we'll come to next one with the Eucharist.
Yeah.
Why do we have an offertory procession? Right, and we bring up bread, wine, and water. We bring up our sufferings, we bring up our joy, we bring up our life. As insignificant as I am, one of 8 billion people, I bring it up, and on the altar, the bread, the wine, and the water, my pains, my joys, my sorrow, and my life are transformed into Christ, into something of eternal value.
Oh,
and then
beautiful.
He gives Himself back. But He's the one that originated this.
Oh, we have to talk a little bit more about that, but we've got to go to a break. But
No,
I
that's
love
fine.
that. I
Yeah.
love that. You've been watching Spirit of Life. We're still going. We're going to a break. We'll be back very shortly.
Go till I hear but breath of the Spirit flowing in me. Go till I hear but breath of the Spirit flowing in me.
Hello and welcome back to Spirit of Life. I'm Mirella Rich and we're here with Father Eugene Ashkar. If you've just joined us, he's a Catholic priest in Victoria and we're talking about Our Lady Queen of Peace's message from Medjugorje on the 25th of April 2018. Welcome back to the program, Father.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm back.
back here. So Our Lady said as well, pray little children, and do not lose hope. That's quite a powerful message, just really as that is, isn't it?
It is. I think that's something that in this world at the moment, just generally everything, the one thing that people, that I suppose the world wants us to do is to lose hope. And then we can be directed in any direction. But if we have the hope of heaven and the hope of the grace of God and the hope of Our Lady's watching over us, then we're a bit like an old priest that once said to me at a retreat, let the dogs bark, just keep walking down the road. Right? The thing is that if we have hope, we'll keep going. And I think it's also with little children, you know. You only have to look at a little child to see how they react to their parent. You know, their parents are oracles. You know, they are all powerful, all knowing, etc. Right? They have such hope in their parents, you know, and that's why kids boast about their parents and they can do this and they can do that, and you know, that's why I suppose that image of, you know, my dad's a fireman, you know, because it's there's something about, you know, with a fireman there's always hope. You can save a house, you can save someone's life, you can do this. It's a in the face of such horrific destruction, here are these people of hope that come in, and everybody has great hope in them, and they will do anything they can, you know, to help, and that's a real source of hope. I think so, and like with the children, you know, I think that's just it's an extraordinary positive thing that she's saying, you know, dear little children. Right? So, you know, it's like...
She's calling us her dear little children.
Her dear little children. Now, there is also that saying, you know, never stand between a lioness and her cub. Right? And I think that's you're right. That's the thing, you know, like, these are her little children, you know, just watch out. I always loved when I was reading Bernadetta Soubirous at the apparition of Lourdes. At the first apparition, the devil also appeared further down the river, and he yelled at Our Lady, "What are you doing here? This is my world." And do you know what Our Lady said in return?
What?
Not a word. Bernadette said she looked with scorn in his direction and he fled with fear. And I thought, oh, now that's an ally, isn't it? She just had to look, you know, like, how dare you talk to me? And just think, you know, that nothing is going to impede her with bringing the children of God, her children, because she's the mother of God, bringing her children to salvation.
We could talk forever on this. This is just, that's magic. Like, it's magical. It's supernatural. Like, it's beautiful.
Oh, well, you know, this is why we need to pray.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
we need to meditate as well on some of these things. You were saying earlier that I was sitting there reading through this thing here, and I just read through it, and then I just thought about it and different things like that. Well, that's prayer. That's Lectio Divina. That's divine reading.
Yeah.
So even if you can't think of what words to say, it's
Yeah.
reading it through and letting yourself be moved by the words.
Yeah.
And I think this is what opens up
Yeah.
some of these messages. I mean, if you read this thing here, what's going to take
You can't just read it
It's going to
once.
take you
Yeah.
a minute or two to read. But
Yeah.
we're building a whole program on it.
Yeah, exactly. We have to meditate. There's so much enrichment in it. Like, not to lose hope. Pray, and the power of prayer. Like,
Oh,
because so many people, sadly, so many people do lose hope because they're fighting another. They're going somewhere else. They're going in a different direction.
Yeah.
They're following.
the
They don't
world
realise
is
what they're following.
distracting them from
Yeah.
prayer.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, you know, because the devil knows, the world knows. If you pray, they lose.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that, because you reattach yourself to the mind of God because you're turning your mind towards Him.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why Our Lady every time says pray.
I love it when I pray. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
When I'm not distracted and I just really surrender to prayer, it's like Miriana said too, it's just like the best place, it's just the best place to be in.
I can't answer it. When I got my last parish and I walked in there, I was severely stressed. I had, 3 churches to look after, 2 parishes, financial calamity because it was just so far in debt and everything else like that. And for 2 weeks I was slogging at it, trying to do the different things there. And then I stopped and I prayed and I said, Lord, hey, I can't. This is your thing. So I'll do my best.
Yeah.
You do the rest, and the stress all gone. That was just gone.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
And then what to do, how to do it, everything just came to me. And so that in 12 months, I had it sorted. Now that wasn't my abilities,
Yeah.
because for 2 weeks I'd worked on this and had no answer.
Yeah, yeah.
I said this thing here, and on that day I had the answer and the peace and everything else of that. And it's just, I was so busy me trying to do this.
Yeah, yeah.
That I was sort of saying, hang on a minute, I really need to hand this over in prayer.
Yeah.
And as soon as I did, solved.
So, because people probably don't think it's as powerful as it is, but it really is. It just, if you really sincerely do it, surrender, it's so huge. It's the
You
biggest
can't
thing.
describe it, can you?
You can't describe
once you've
it.
experienced it, then you go, whoa.
Yeah.
And you can't describe it.
Yeah, you can't. It's
But trust me,
magnificent.
it works.
It works. It does. It's so beautiful. Our Lady said, "May joy and peace be in your hearts, and witness the joy that you are mine." So that's what you get in the end.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It is. There is a joy, a peace and a joy. This peace that, despite difficulties and all adversities, even physical suffering.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for coming on the program, Father.
It's an absolute pleasure.
You've been watching Spirit of Life. I hope you enjoyed the program. We'll see you again soon.
Bring it to birth and blow where you will. Blow, blow, blow till I be but breath of the Spirit.